Hello Internet, your friendly neighborhood gremlin here, and today we're going to give Friga a movie theater, which felt rather fortuitous given that I had just spent the day at the theater. Obviously the real theater, not the movie theater, but still, I didn't even have to go forward any days. This was just the day it was in my game, which happens to be the 8th of October. I guess technically it was the 9th while we were filming this, because it was like 2 a.m. But the game still thinks it's the 8th until like 5 a.m. I'm not entirely sure why that is. It seems very weird to me, but also it's just one of those things that kind of just is. I mean, unless you know what the reason is, in which case, please do tell me down below, because I'd love to know why that was a thing. Like, I know that mobile games sort of switch over at one time, and it's not 12 a.m. for me, but I'm sure it's 12 a.m. for someone. But that's just because it has to switch over for everybody at the same time, so they just had to pick a time zone for it to be 12 a.m. But this game is happening in my time. I know it's supposed to be happening like in real time, but it lets me decide what time it is. It is in fact October 8th, or 9th, I guess, 2021 in my game. It is definitely not that in real life. So anyway, it was just sort of a fun little coincidence, and it was too good to pass up. And so we are making a movie theater today. It's fairly simple. In fact, it didn't take me very long to do at all. I do not know how this video managed to be 10 minutes, probably because I didn't cut out all of the scrolling. Like, if I knew where I was going and what I was getting, I just sort of didn't cut it out. Let me know if that bothers you at all, or whatever, I don't know. It just makes it seem less choppy to me, and so I thought it was a good idea, especially in a video like this where there's not much going on. I have a newfound love for this rope partition thing, just because it's cute and it sort of fits in with the theme, but also because it lets me put paths under it. And so when we go to do the sort of fake rugs that I'm gonna do, I made a rug that is the exact size that I want it to be, and it's not sitting weird because I could put the fringe under the partition. And it was the best thing that has ever happened to me. That is definitely an over-exaggeration, but the amount of excited I felt. So we've just sort of laid out our seating area, I suppose. There's essentially 2 screens at this movie theater. There's the one outside and then the one upstairs. And then downstairs inside is like a lobby area, and it is run by gnomes. I probably should have put a gnome out here because we are going to have sort of like a ticket checking area outside here, and we just use the busing station. A, because it's in the order, so I think that's what they wanted me to do, and B, it just looked better than the checkout counter. But then I suppose this is just sort of unmanned now. But in my defense, I did not think about the gnomes until I was inside, and then I did not think to put them outside. It didn't even occur to me at all, and has only occurred to me just right now. Not even while I was editing the video, just like literally right now while we're doing the voiceover. I was like, ooh, gnomes. I guess I can go back and shove a gnome in there and get paid 15,000 Poke, which seems kind of like an exploitation, but also I kind of want to put a gnome there, so who knows. And now we're just putting some snacks sort of around, like, so you can imagine that people are sitting here and watching movies. Obviously there's nobody here. Maybe we could have an audience of gnomes, though I suppose that would probably be overdoing it just a little bit. I'd have been able to pull off gyroids, which is one of those things that I always want to put in my builds because I see other people do it and they look so cute. I, however, have just had more success with the garden gnomes. I wish there were more varieties of the garden gnomes, because having only like 6 plus Santa and a biker dude is kind of difficult. But here we have our fake rug, and doesn't it look super good? This is the first fake rug I think I've made in this game that I'm happy with. Obviously, other than like using the pre-made rugs, like ones people made and designed to look like a rug and not me putting fringe on the end of a pattern. I do really wish you could make it slightly darker outside. I know obviously it would be unfunctional for gameplay, and if I were on my island and trying to do stuff at night, I'd be like, why is it so dark? This is awful. But I still want to make it darker while I'm doing these builds. This path is a thing that I did that I'm not sure I'm happy with, but also just kind of accepted as a thing. I mean, it's mostly just for the obvious reasons that houses are 3 and the entrance to this is 2. And that is annoying. I mean, I suppose the entrance to this could technically be 4, but I've got those little floor lights, and so that is not the way it is. And so we have to go from 2 to 3, and I'm not sure I love it, but it was the only option. I like the idea of the path, and so we went with it. Here I'm going to add approximately 3 bushes and absolutely no flowers, and then we're going to call that landscaping. Really, we probably could have done without the bushes entirely, but they are there, just to sort of add some interest, I guess. But now we get to head inside, which is exciting. And in here, we're just gonna make sort of like a lobby slash concession stand. We don't have a lot of concession-based items, so it's literally just popcorn and cotton candy. And then I have like a drink machine over on the other side there. This couch literally just sparked an idea in my head. Maybe it would have been better had I done something more like the Black, White, and Red bookstore from Gilmore Girls. It's just sort of like DIY movie theater kind of thing, like couches and some chairs, but also like a bookstore. And then I would have been able to put things on the walls. because we are going to find out that there is nothing that looks enough like a movie poster that allowed me to put it on the walls, which was mildly distressing. I mean, it is like a small town movie theater. There are 8 seats outside and, coincidentally enough, also 8 seats upstairs. And I didn't even do that on purpose or anything. It was just a thing that happened. So apparently this build day was full of coincidences, and maybe that can make up for the lack of questionable decisions that happened in this build. It occurred to me now, thinking, yeah, you didn't make any questionable decisions here, that I probably should have put Godzilla outside, because that would have been freaking awesome, though he might have looked a little silly in front of the romance movie that was playing at the moment. I don't know if there are any horror movies that happen. I know at like 3:33 a.m. you can see aliens, but other than that, I don't know. Do the projection screens even change the way televisions do? I don't really know. I looked up a television schedule for New Horizons, and it just says movie sometimes. It doesn't tell you what the genre of the movie is. So maybe it's always a romance movie. Superhero and Godzilla might have paired well, depending on what shots you have of the superhero thing, but they sometimes destroy cities. I do really wish we could just sort of pick what we wanted to watch. But again, it's Animal Crossing. It doesn't really let you pick very many things. I mean, before the 2.0 update, you had to literally just trade other people for items that were different colors, or just live with the color you happen to have, which seems extremely stressful. I don't know how other people did that. I wasn't there pre-2.0 update, so luckily that was not a thing I had to deal with. It would have made the island decorating even harder, but it's also not easy now. I mean, given the fact that I have still not managed to decorate my island at all. To be fair, I also haven't done any decorating in Dreamlight Valley. I also don't really decorate my farm in Ooblets, and my Stardew Valley farm was also kind of sad looking. Exteriors are just hard for me. Here I'm just moving the gnomes because they looked weird directly in line with each other, and I didn't like it. I also generally do not know what I was thinking about the lava lamp. Maybe that can be our questionable decision. Fairly small one, and not like super exciting or anything, and I'm definitely questioning my choice now, which is not something I usually do with the questionable decisions, because I usually think this is weird, but also I love it, rather than what were you thinking? Which is maybe what most people think when they look at my questionable decisions. Though maybe you're kind of into the questionable decisions? Let me know down below how you feel about it. But we have made it upstairs, where we're going to make a very simple screening room. And I do mean very simple. I think this room has like a total of 17 objects in it, which is absurd. It's literally just 8 chairs and some floor lights and the projection screen. I guess we're gonna add some rugs and the little drapery bits. This is in fact the perfect build to put the drapery bits in. Here I'm trying to have an aisle, but they were so far away from the middle of the screen and the screen was so small, it felt really sad. I am absolutely the kind of person who needs to be exactly in the middle of the movie screen. Like, I used to show up at the theater super early so I could get a good seat. Assigned seating has greatly improved my movie theater going experience. Let me know if that's you, or if you're the kind of person who could just sit anywhere and be fine with it. I mean, again, if I paid to see a movie and I had to sit in a shitty seat, I could do it and it would be fine. But I'm paying to do the thing. I want to do the thing right, which is exactly how I bought tickets in December for a show that I saw in October. It's a very strange ticket buying experience. I've never done anything like it. First of all, it was just like they were doing a release date. It was kind of like a big deal. So I had to wait in line online, which again, that didn't bother me at all. But when it let me into the website and I was trying to pick tickets, they had all of the sort of sections of the theater laid out by price range, which is typical. What is weird is that there was no map of the theater that had the names of the sections on it, and the named sections did not offer the aisle ranges in which they were contained. So I just kind of had to guess where it was I wanted to sit, which was confusing and stressful. And then on top of that, you told them what section you wanted to be in and what date you wanted, and then they just gave you seats, and then you had to just keep getting other seats. It at no point showed me which seats were available. Normally when you buy tickets, you sort of go in, you tell them what date and time you want to see the show, and they say, these are the seats you can have. Pick one. No, it just decided. I had to just keep selecting until it gave me the seats I wanted. And I did get good seats. First row of the mezzanine in the center, exactly where I wanted to be. And I'm in no way upset that I had to go to October to get that. I'm upset that it didn't tell me which seats were available. Like, why didn't it just say, these are the seats you can have on this date at this time? I'm still upset about it, which is stupid. I know it's stupid, but also, why? Why? Just someone tell me why. Anyway, rant over. We are now going to try and put the Worthy painting on the wall because it looks kind of like it might be a movie poster, but also not enough that it was acceptable. And so instead we leave the walls blank. Here you are watching me struggle and realizing that I cannot change the movie that's playing, which sucks. Still sucks. Anyway, doesn't matter. we are at the reveal. And while I wouldn't call it a movie projection palace, and it is very simple and not very exciting or creative, I do really like this belt still. Let me know down below what you think about it, or what you did for Friga movie theater, if you've made one. Here we are discovering penguins can wear hats. I love animals who can wear hats and not look stupid. But anyway, we've reached the end of our video, so do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye!